What's going on, guys? AlmightyBushido here today with a quick, not quick, but a somewhat tutorial video on how to maximize the training room. Now, this is geared more towards newer players, intermediate, simple things. So I'm gonna try and explain things as much as I can, and if it's something you already know, it's okay, take it with a grain of salt, and if you feel I'm missing something, feel free to comment it. I have no problem with that. Just understand this is more towards people who are really wanting to get better at the game and practice more. I'm gonna say this one is the number one thing. Always keep attack data and key display on. You need to know what your inputs are, so you know why you're dropping things, and you need to keep your damage on, so you know how much stuff is, how it hits, your damage scaling, stuff like that. Damage scaling, you're not gonna know right offhand, oh my gosh, I'm at 50% damage scaling, guys. I don't know what to do. But yeah, simple stuff. Now, first thing I'm gonna talk about is your combos. For one, you need to make sure that you can even hit your combos. For instance, say you're in a match, you're like, cool, I got the combo, and then you drop something so simple. You're gonna get a little discouraged because you're like, wow, I just dropped a simple combo, what's wrong with you? So just go through the list of combos that you know, or look up some new combos and just practice them. Usually I would try and go I'm gonna try and hit the combo 3 times in a row, and then I'll move on to a next combo to make sure I'm consistently hitting the combo, because you want your muscle memory to be geared towards hitting it correctly. And then another thing to that is making sure that you hit your combos on both sides. A lot of people claim they can hit their combos, but then they drop them on both sides. Drop them on one side. Even though, that's a small thing, but it's kind of really big for instance with me, on my left side, on my left side, if I do crouch in the DP, I can't really do that motion very well, but I can do it better on the right side for some strange reason. So I would practice it more on the left side than I would the right. Okay, next up on my list is optimal combos. You need to make sure when you get your damage, you're utilizing it. For instance, I'm just using Bison as a reference since I made him. Another thing with Bison is when you hit standing roundhouse or standing, down angle fears. So for instance, if you get if you don't get crush counter, your combo is in the cycle flame or knee press, whatever. Same thing with standing fist, is that into knee press or cycle flame, doesn't matter. Now if you get crush counter, this is important. A lot of Bisons will do that combo, or if they'll hit that, they'll do the vice versa of it. My bad. Into cycle axe and into flames. Those are both 281 damage, right? Interchangeable, doesn't matter. But the combo you should be doing is a more optimal is with standing fierce into the cycle flame. 306 damage compared to 281. That's a little bit more than what you're getting, and it works with both crush counters. The only way it doesn't work is if you hit max range cycle axe, because even though he steps forward, he's out of range for the cycle blast. So if you know you hit max range, go for yeah. Actually, it doesn't matter because it's the same damage. So either way, it's whatever combo you choose to do. Another thing is your punishes. You need to make sure that you're punishing things very correctly. I see a lot of people who, if somebody whiffs a DP or they miss, they blocked it, they'll throw out the button too early for the crush counter, and it'll miss, or they'll get the air recovery motion, and that's not what you want that. Oh, excuse me, hold on. He'll get flash kick, right, and then you go for the punish, and then they're in the air, and you messed up. Now, with Bison, I can still punish him at that point, but it's that's not optimal damage. I need to practice, wait till he lands, and then, go for a combo or something like that. I'm not saying everybody does that, but that's just something you should practice, because you have to make sure that you're getting optimal combos if you want to deal damage. For instance with Bison, since he's kind of straightforward, whatever damage you get, you need to maximize it. Alright, another thing is combos into V-trigger. Sometimes you're just oh, I'm down on life, but I have V-trigger and I know I can bring it back. But the problem is you don't know how to activate V-trigger. Now somebody is Bison, since it's just a buff kinda, you can activate V-trigger at random, but you wouldn't want to because you can get more damage if you combo into V-Trigger, and you can also get a setup off of it. For instance, you can do Standing Fist into heavy Psycho Flame, and you can jab them out of it for a mix-up. But if you're just trying to go for damage, you can do something more like jump in. I'm not saying jump in, but I'm like, you know, maximize your combos if you're gonna combo into it. Like me personally, when I have V-Trigger and I'm trying to fish for it, I like to do the target combo because I can get a lot of damage off it if I hit, and I'm safe if he blocks, so I can backdash and reset neutral. That's something really important because I see a lot of people drop their combos if they try to combo into V-Trigger because they just do something wrong. Like if I did Psycho Axe into Psycho Fall again, that's not optimal. I just threw out damage, or if I just throw out a button I know it's not gonna hit. So yes, always practice your V-Trigger combos and make sure you're doing safe combos too. Don't try and just throw out something completely unsafe and then try and just cancel the V-Trigger unless you know it'll be safe afterwards. I mean, like if Ken tries to do like run into foot, that's still unsafe. So another thing, this is the most important thing right here, not messing up stun. When you get stunned, oops, you need to take advantage of it. Like stun is a very important thing. You need to maximize your damage. I see so many people drop combos off of stun. You need to practice. See, right there, I went through the game away. Like you gotta make sure when you get stunned, you're maximizing all your damage off of this next combo. I ain't maximizing my damage off this next combo. I would have lost evil. That's tragic. Alright, now we're gonna move on to the next section. Okay, now for your offense. When you have somebody pressured, the main thing you need to do is make sure that you're doing safe and efficient block strings. I don't know why people love to just throw stuff away. Because, okay, for instance with Bison, I would want to say, keep in mind I'm not that good when I say this. So if you set them to guard off, and you did Standing Medium into light, you can do Psycho Blast and reset the neutral right there. So you're still within range, you're in Bison's range of his normals, but you just safely push your opponent back and you did a decent amount of chip. Now, I personally like to do a lot of knee presses because at certain ranges you can't punish them. Like as a Bison player though, you can punish them if you just do a 3-frame. But like, say you get maybe the tip of the boot like that, yeah, ain't nobody punishing that unless they do maybe a super that dashes for something, I'm not sure. But that's debatable. Oh yeah, but adding to that, you don't want to do an unsafe start block string, you'd be like, okay, we'll just block it, or I'm gonna do Psycho Flame to hope they get hit, or I'm gonna throw a sweep now, see if hope they get hit. You can eat up to 500 damage just because you decided to do an unsafe block string. There's no need to go for risk if there is no risk that needs to be taken. Now another thing for offense is your meaty timing. This is very, very, very important. Meaty timing can make or break a match. So if you knock somebody down and you miss the meaty, you can eat a DP. Look how much damage I ate. Look at that chunk of life because I decided to push a button and I messed up my meaty timing. But if I have proper meaty timing, look at the damage he took off of a counter hit as well. Meaty timing is, you have to, for me, I like to watch their feet. Like, when I see their feet, that's when I like to push the button. I gotta make sure. You have to use whatever you can use to help you get meaty timing. I don't know what's gonna help you, but whatever helps me is what I'm gonna use. Another thing, recovery. When you're pressing offense, you gotta make sure you know what type of recovery they're gonna use. You gotta watch for that. If they do no recovery, you're set. You just gotta go for a good just walk. Do what you gotta do to close the gap, and do yourself a good meaty, and you set. Now if they do a normal recovery like quick get up, you gotta be ready for that. Be like, uh-oh, it done got it kind of quick. See, I don't really practice mine yet, which is kind of ironic that I'm telling you to practice yours. Damn, I really don't know the timing. There you go. So I'd have to practice that more. Don't tell nobody though. And then you also have to watch for back recovery as well. Like they back up. Got 8 that flip. A good thing to do, personally, I think, is just go for a knockdown, set it at random, and then practice your meaty right off of that. If you're gonna press for offense, you have to watch how they get, like, if they backdash, if they do back recovery as Bison, if you see it, cycle axe, because you'll be right there back on it, and you'll be set. All right, that's it for the offense section. Now to move on to the next section. The worst section to talk about. No defense fighter 5. This game is very difficult to me as a Bison player when it comes to defense because I have to push so hard on offense. The number one thing you want to practice in this game when it comes to defense is anti-airs. That is so important in this game, it makes no sense to me. Okay, so for one, your ranges of the anti-air. If they're right on you, do something that goes straight up, like this range right here. You see the squares? You see squares? Anti-air at that range. Now, this range, do something that would go a little bit forward, but still has an upwards motion. Bison doesn't really have anything at that, so he could do jab, but it's not recommended. That's another thing too. Do not anti-air jab. Even if you got a good anti-air, you could get so much more damage off of that. I mean, yeah, you could get like a nice dash under combo if you really bout it, but it's like, you know you're a scumbag if you anti-air jab. Like, I'm sorry. I don't like you with the anti-air jab. Another thing is if you know they're going to cross up, unless it's something like birdies that hits on a full eclipse, do not try anti-air because you're just going to eat a counter hit. You're going to eat more damage. If you feel they're going to cross up, just block the other way and just take the block. You have to take the block sometimes. That as well. Blocking. If you're in a scramble situation where like you're both in each other's ranges and you just keep pushing buttons, but you keep seeing counter hit pop up, stop pushing buttons. Sometimes you just gotta block, back up, and reset neutral. Don't keep pushing buttons because that's how you just keep eating hits and then you just losing damage. The most common characters I see this with are Karen when you're standing medium, crouching medium as well. Same thing with Cammy and Zangief as well. Like when Zangief starts in jab, like if you feel you need to reset neutral, then just try to get away. Don't try and keep pushing buttons unless you think your button's gonna beat it out. But that's another thing too, is you have to know your ranges of your buttons, because if you're trying to do something out but you're doing the wrong button, if Zangief jabs and tries to jab again, I'd probably press like a 3 frame, but look at the range, it's very short. So I'd have to be ready for that as well. And then if it whiffs, I'm just eating more damage. Okay. Now, also onto defense, knowing when to V-reversal. Like, practice your V-reversal timing. Sometimes you think the V-reversal is going to come out, but then you get a button and you're like, uh-oh. And the button whiffs, then you eat more damage. A good thing to do if you want to just practice getting the input for V-reversal is like, set like a dummy to throw like a fireball or something like that, block it, and then V-reversal. That's what I would do. It's just a good way to get yourself on the timing of V-reversal and get you in the habit of V-reversing. Some characters you're not like, I wouldn't advise you trying to V-reversal because you'd be better off getting your what's it called? Your V trigger. But like sometimes you can use V-reversal to like push the advantage, because now look, I pushed them in the corner and I'm on the oppression. But when you're on the oppression, you gotta know when to V-reversal and if you even should V-reversal. It's not mandatory that you do, but some situations you need to. Now, V-reversal. Do not V-reversal off of a light, because if they react, you can grab you. Don't V-reversal off of jumping, because if they react, they can grab you. Sometimes V-reversal will just be baited and they'll just grab you, period. A good time to V-reversal is maybe off of like an early medium, like a medium they can't special cancel, or a heavy, like always off the heavies. Because like most characters, unless you V-reversal really late, then they might be able to block it and they can, depending on who you are, they might be able to punish it in V-reversal. So it's not that you always need to V-reversal, it's just you need to know what to do, especially if they do like, if they try and bait you, they'll do like maybe medium and then jump, or light then jump. It just all depends. Alright, and that is the end for the defense section. Now on to the last section. Alright, lastly, character specific traits. Things that you should practice that only your character can do. Now, I'm gonna use Bison solely for this because this is the character I make. So for instance, I'm gonna use an example. If I'm fighting a Nash, right, and they're doing a block string on me where they do moonsault, right? You don't want to get hit by that because he's plus. So if you V reversal, excuse me, I just tried my life. If you V if you V skill at the right time, you can negate the move altogether and throw out a projectile. The only reason I say that over just a regular anti-air is because if you V, I can't speak. If you V skill, you can get more damage off of it than you would an anti-air. Like, okay, watch. If I crouching fierce, 96 damage. If I V skill into that, 197 damage. And that can like make or break the game if you practice character specific things like that. Another thing is, this was gonna tie into the defense as well. I'm sorry I forgot to mention this, but this is kind of important too. Fireballs. If you know your character has a certain way of getting around fireballs, you need to utilize it. For Mika, it's the slide under. Rashid is the roll. Alex, you gotta flash chop them. Yeah, that's right, flash chop. Yeah, flash chop the fireballs. For Bison, it's absorbing them. You should not be letting fireballs get past you, and you need to know your charge as well. If you know you have a fireball, don't try and absorb another fireball. But you can beat out a fireball because your fireball's 2 hits, and for them to beat out a 2-hit fireball, they have to throw out an EX, unless it's a Kuma, for instance. Another thing is like dashing through the fireballs. Only Bison can do that. You have to know the timing for it though, because it's really strict. And the thing about that is, say you're backed up and they throw the fireball and they're walking with it. If you time it correctly, the invincibility of them being right on the fireball and them trying to push a button while you're in the fireball will both be negated, and then you can push like a quick button, like maybe a 3-frame or maybe a medium, and you can counter hit them off of that, and then it'll make them more reluctant to walk with fireballs, so you can go on the oppression now because you don't have anything keeping you from getting in. Stuff like that can really help you in certain matchups that you're struggling with. Like, why would you let Nash moonsault you if you just have something that can make him reluctant to use it? Same thing with the fireballs, because Nash's fireball game is, it's not amazing, but like at max ranges, because he can throw a slow fireball and walk with it, that's really good. He's like a more mobile guy, so if he hits you like maybe overhead before the fireball hits, then he can get like a full combo off of it. So knowing character specific things like that is very important. Also knowing how to punish with your character and stuff like that, knowing your character's ranges, knowing all sorts of mix-ups and doohickeys and bobbles, because like, there's always fundamentals of Street Fighter, but then you gotta have character fundamentals. Like with Bison, you can, like his dash, that dash is OD. This man is literally like, if I had to compare him to any character in Marvel vs. Capcom, I would say he's Wesker. I can say that with like, I guess Pride, comp something like that. But yeah, that's a given. Knowing characters things, like knowing your character's grab range, your health, vitality, all that, normals. But like I said, character specific stuff, that's really important. Like I said, the moonsault, that's something that can make or break a game, and you really would like to use that tech. Like, look at that. Don't you want to do that to some Nash online? He's like, oh, I'm ready for these Nash buffs in season 2.1. I'm gonna body every player I get, moonsault, make that moonsault, and then you're gonna do that, and he's gonna be like, no, don't. You can even do it in a super. Like, hold on. If I was good, you could do it in the super. I'm gonna hit this. One more time. There we go. Like, look at that! Into super? Like, you can even do that off of the block strings. Like, if you know they're gonna end the block string with a special, you can do that at the end of a block string. That's 400 damage. Excuse me, 388 damage just because he threw out moonsault in a way it wasn't gonna confirm. Alright, that's the end of my video for how to utilize Training Room. I hope you can take what I said and like actually use it to help you better yourself in Street Fighter V. I know I need to do a lot of these things on this list as well to better my game in Street Fighter V. But like I said, it's more geared towards beginners, intermediates, people who just mess around in training room. These are things you can actually do to help you. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Leave a like, maybe subscribe if you'd like. It's up to you. This one, but that's it. Remember, guys, live long, be blessed, be happy, and don't die. Because if you die, you're most definitely dead. I will see you guys later.